Jonathan Mozenter is a transformational guide and organizational development expert specializing in the integration of psychedelics, advanced meditation, and energy based practices for human flourishing. With decades of deep inner work, including Vajrayana Buddhism, somatic healing, state exploration, he helps high performing individuals discover their unique pathway to awakening, embodiment, and flow. Jonathan's work focuses on translating profound mystical experiences into grounded practical change. Clients beyond peak experiences into sustained transformation. He bridges spirituality and real work performance, offering a clear, structured approach to evolving consciousness while staying deeply human and embodied. Yay! That's amazing, hermano. I appreciate you to be of service to our human world here because we need it. We need to heal. We need to transform. We need to wake up and connect to the source. So that's the topic of today, psychedelics. How you doing, hermano Jonathan, today? Where are you in the world?
Oh, I'm actually visiting my parents in Rochester, New York. Is where I grew up, upstate New York, near Niagara Falls, Buffalo, Canada. So yeah, it's we got a spring day here in May.
Amazing.
And where
So
are you exactly? Sounds like you're down
I'm
south
here in
somewhere.
Ecuador. I'm in downtown Quito,
Nice.
and I just came from the coast. Been there for a year in Canoa, Manami, building the Eco Village project over there. And yeah, we're doing also some work here in the Andes Mountains, 2,800 meters above sea level. And it's great to be here as well. We got community going on and some projects. So happy to be here again. And yeah, moving
I'm
forward
getting to
with
share that I'm
this.
wearing my Peruvian. I got this in Peru. I was in the Sacred Valley recently for like 3 months, and I've been spending a lot of time in Mexico and Costa Rica. So I'm very intimate with that part of the world, and I love it down there. So feeling those vibes. Can't wait to visit Ecuador someday.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Ecuador soon, anytime. We can go and visit different locations, our indigenous cultures, also the nature, the mountains, the jungles. It's very important to resonate with the earth so we can wake up and activate and remember what we're here for, right? So
Yes,
yeah,
love it.
man, that's what we're gonna be doing today, getting deep into the medicine of psychedelics. What does that mean for you, hermano? Psychedelic as a whole. And going deep, we might be
Yes.
having different meanings of what that is. So let's clarify that for our crowds here, for us as
Let's
well.
go. All right. So I'm very experienced with using all kinds of medicines, and I'm going to use some different language. Boom. Psychedelics are energy, flavored energy, because different psychedelics do slightly different things. You know, you're not going to get 5-MeO toad is not the same as iboga or psilocybin or THC. So they're energy, and I've studied with a lot of energy. They put us in different states of being. Different information is available to us in different states of being. So that's the first thing is what they are is they put us in different states. Now, what you can do in those states, well, you can sometimes do things that you can't do in your whatever regular state. And so there's some advantages there. So what I like to teach people is how do you get into different states and what do you do in those states so you can become manifest to be a better version of yourself. Now that could be connecting to your higher self, your soul or source. It could be doing deep healing, like going deep into the subconscious, surfacing suppressed emotions, coming up with some stories maybe that you've made about yourself or about the world that are no longer serving. And it enhances creativity and performance and a self-awareness, not just about you, but how life works. You can get like lessons. And so there's a lot of dynamism there. And so my specialty is really protocols. My first like matrix job was actually organizational development, which is also called change management. It's about the process of transformation. So I'm bringing both esoteric. I've studied with several esoteric masters in meditation and energy and somatic theory, but also like training and development is kind of like in my bones. So it's like I'm a specialist in this. I'm a geek and nerd in this. And this is what I love. My greatest joy is to see people connected to their higher self, to their source or whatever their version of source is, so that we can all win at once, because I really believe that's possible. We can create a regenerative planet. And I want to bring in one last thing and send it right back to you, is this idea of regenerative energy. What if we could use our energy, our personal energy, more intelligently, both individually and collectively, by just being a little bit smarter, a little bit more self-aware, and we add that to the other parts of regeneration, which we also need.
Beautiful. Yes. So just to understand also, your services are post the psychedelic experience, or you're also offering a process and service
Of
with the
integration.
medicine?
Well, great question. Great question. I love that. So I break the psychedelic experience into 3 parts. There's preparation, which I put a lot of energy into that. That's probably one of my biggest strengths, is how do you prepare? I don't know about you, better questions, better answers. Simple. The psychedelics is like, because when you ask the question, when you show your intention, you're kind of revealing your spiritual, like what you're ready to hear. So if you're ready for a more advanced question, you have to show the field, your soul consciousness, the medicine, that you're ready for it. So I help people prepare, and then day of stuff. I don't do that one as much. I could do that. I have done that, like retreats, one-on-ones, but less. And then integration, like how do you translate the experience and integrate it so it's sticky? It's not just a story like took some mushrooms, I had this crazy story, and then you're the same person. It's okay. And those things happen. But what if you could have prepare intelligently, have fun, have an awesome, an interesting experience. While it could be fun, could be challenging, and then integrate it and have a great story, and it made me a better person. And that's what I'm about, is making the whole thing. It's like a skill set. It's a capacity. So right now I've been working a lot of people one-on-one, but I'm about to come out with a course in a community. So it's gonna be an online course, but then you'll have access to me a couple times a month as a group, and we'll talk about how to prepare, how to integrate, how to support each other, how do we create a regenerative world, because it's about community. A lot of psychedelic experiences are individual, but you can do group experiences. I do both. I've had like a company come together, and we did visioning stuff together. We resolved interpersonal conflict. So I actually think psychedelics and regeneration, intelligent use of psychedelics marries well with regenerative, because it's expansive. Our old way of doing it is not as regenerative as the new way that we're emerging. We're creating like a new planet. We need new thought patterns, new behaviors, deeper connections to source, deeper connections to the earth, not just to source, to each other. Like intimacy is the name of the game. Intimacy with how life works, right? Intimacy is just like means a word for more familiar with what is. So we're going deeper, and psychedelics are like a flashlight. Boom, you can see deeper. And so I'm excited, and I don't know. My offerings is really about intelligent process and organizational development, change management. They actually call me a process consultant. I help people. I'm not here to do it for you. Nobody can do your psychedelic experience for you, but I can, because I've done it so far and guided so many people, I can show people steps. And it's how do you bring the right energy? How do you ask the right questions? How do you understand what happened to you? Because it can be confusing. The psyche is confusing. It often works in symbols and stuff. And change actually is a process. Not everybody is an expert on the process of change and integration. There are best practices. My main thing is like synthesis. So I'm pulling things for a little thing from there. A little, this energy master taught me this. This Vajrayana teacher taught me this. Learned this from organizational development. Bringing different archetypes. I'm bringing archetypes are really helpful. I don't know if your audience knows about archetypes, but things like the Enneagram or the human design, gene keys. One most people don't know about, called the 5 personality patterns, really helpful. There's other ones, deity yoga. Anyways, what we can do is we could quickly find out likely what are some of your strengths and weaknesses. It'll help you ask for better questions and better answers. So that's another part of the services I offer people. And either if you don't work with it, it's a good thing to look into. But my expertise isn't just to say, here's your chart. It's like, how do you use it? Because there's like the more experience you have with these archetype charts, you actually learn how to cut through there's like a signal noise thing. The familiarity matters, because like I can help people be like, no, you need to look over here and do it in this order, in this way, and this is how you get the most out of it.
Great, brother. Yes, thank you very much. So I want to clarify the importance of the psychedelic medicines today
Mm-hmm.
has been commercialized like any other
Yes.
product. And it's a problem because it's losing the importance of the mystery, the spiritual sense of it, the respect and the honor. And
Mm-hmm.
therefore, even recently, it has been legalized in a way through the Trump administration. There was
Mm-hmm.
an expression with this other podcast viewer influencer that I can't remember his name right now. So what happens is that if we legalize plants, does that make other plants illegal? If we legalize the psychedelic medicines, does that mean they're going to manipulate it like they do with the cannabis and and have it only for private companies to have access to, and then extract and the different elements and properties of the plant so they can work and make it sell on pharmaceuticals to make us dependent from it. So this is an
Mm-hmm.
important awareness to act upon, because nowadays also a lot of people that are not ceremonial leaders, they're offering it to people, and therefore
Yes.
it could be dangerous, it could be just non-coherent, and that's important for us to realize and make wise decisions in who we want to have this experience with, what kind of medicine, what are the differences about all these medicines, why are there so many, and what to do about it in our lives. So a lot of people are scared of it, a lot of people don't believe in it, a lot of people have stopped using it. Myself have stopped using it. I don't feel the need anymore. However, I know the importance. It has changed me and it has helped me in so many ways, and respect that. But I don't see the respect and honor that it's currently being used as, just like in the mainstream. So, what do you think about that?
All right. Well, that's an amazing question. There's a lot going on in that question. So let me slow down. So yes. So I think there was a recent thing where um, Trump fast tracked research for veterans for MDMA, ibogaine, and psilocybin. I think that's the thing you're referring to. I don't know all the details of it, but it's there's an uptick, and I think that's a great thing. And this it's going to branch off in all different weird ways. And you use the word, brother, that I want to emphasize, underscore. Boom, you said discernment. Boom, that's the big word. Discernment. How do we use these things intelligently? Like, how do we know who's safe, whose product is good? Just is if you buy it in a store, does that mean it doesn't work? uh, the answer I would say is no. I mean, if it's a chemical, it work, but I wouldn't. I'd be careful to go. People on both sides can take it in weird ways. Story narrative matters a lot because there's energy in it. Like, if you like be like, oh, I just went to a dispensary and bought like a vape pen, and you're like, oh, I got the willies because the man made this, you're already tainting your whole experience. It's like that's a sabotage program. It's just so I wouldn't do that. It doesn't mean you have to buy it from a dispensary. I don't care. I'm not invested in that. Um, I'm about unification. I'm very aware of alternative narratives about the nature reality, mainstream narratives. I'm trying to bring people together and cut through about what's important, right? And so let's stop fighting each other. Like, is everything in the conspiracy alternative world true? I'd say no. Is everything in the mainstream world? No. It's like we got to use discernment. We actually have to look in. There's a lot of information we could get lost in confounding. And these are the good guys. These are the white hats, and these are the sheeple or whatever. That's really not good discernment at all. So really getting deeper, and this I'm going to connect this to the psychedelics. We there's something called reductionism, which is like where you take something complicated and you make it really simple. That's not intelligent. And I see a lot of that from everybody all over. Doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, awake, sleep, whatever you want. I see a lot of reductionism everywhere. And we need to see things with fresh eyes. There's also what's called a lot of confounding. Like a lot of people's like, well, the government's getting involved with psychedelics. They ruined it. I'm like, oh, okay. It's true that it's getting popular and a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon and they don't know what they're doing and it's dangerous. That's a fact, brother. I believe in that 100%. But that doesn't mean it needs to take down the whole industry. Let's not do this baby in the bathwater kind of phenomenon. We need to be discerning, right? It's intelligent. So we want to look at the details. So chemicals, right? You want to get something where you think it's safe, and they put you in a state. So that's like part of it. But then what are you going to do? What energies are you bringing into this state, and what are you going to do afterwards? Like these are the three parts. So I would make sure you're getting it from a place that you feel is safe. That your story, don't take a medicine if you feel like, oh, I don't know where this is coming. You're already like screwing yourself up. If you don't feel like it's coming from a safe source, a source that makes you feel good, don't do it. Okay, but you can get. There are legit people who are in the doing the legal, like ketamine's legal in some places, ketamine therapy. Just because it's not, it's over the counter and it's legal doesn't mean it's got the heebie-jeebies. Some of those people know what they're doing, and some don't. It depends on the details. So we really want to look and find energetic matches, like maybe somebody who's more in the mainstream is going to want to get a doctor prescribed, and that's what makes them feel. It's better for you to feel safe, than to get up in these meta narratives, because there's good people and dysfunctional people on all parts, right? So we want to get into the details. You want to feel comfortable with it. I want to bring intelligence to everything, particularly in the psychedelics. So attunement is a big word here. You mentioned like different kinds of medicines, and some people are new or afraid. I'm going to pull something from the psychedelic world. They think they call it, I got this from the 5-MeO DMT world, but they call it the handshake. It's a term used to and I don't want to take it just for that medicine. That's an extreme medicine. If you're a rookie, stay as far away as you can from that medicine. That's not for rookies. That one's intense. But just even marijuana or THC is a psychedelic. Start slow. If you're new to this thing, you don't want to be jumping off the deep end. And surround yourself with people who've had experience already. Grounding, number one. Let's just get to this is for the noobs out there, and a lot of people are noob. Start slow. Just don't just develop. It's about, they call it developing a relationship with the medicine. Each medicine has its own texture, flavor, and you got to get used to it. And a lot of people do it and nothing happens and they think it sucks. Well, you might be just the handshake phase. The medicine wanted to introduce yourself before it goes deeper. That's pretty normal, actually. So you safety first. I'll remind. Here's a basic trip. You want to remind yourself before any psychedelic experience, proling, this will end. So even if you have a challenging experience, this will end. Because it will. It'll wear off. The medicine always wears off. So start with smaller trips. And I'm getting open to interpretation. Here's a more advanced one, but I'm bringing it from, this is from my soul brothers and sisters from Tibet, Vajrayana Buddhism, and they know secrets about meditation and metaphysics that most people don't know. I wish everyone would know. You get to know slowly. Here's one of their best tips. They call it emptiness, but really what they're saying is anything that comes, any interpretation of reality that comes into your field, this is going to make you way more intelligent. Maybe. Like, or my friend, one of my teachers, Kramer, would say neutral file. Like, everything that comes up, stamp it with a maybe. Like, whatever your first impression of it is, don't take it too seriously, because that's what gets us in trouble. Is when our first impulse is usually rooted something in the past, maybe trauma, some deeply held assumptions, emotional. It could be true, it could be partially true, but if we get too attached to it and we run with it, we often don't act from our best self. So these are easy things. These are concepts that are important. They're easy to hear, but you got to practice it, and some things are going to be harder to see as maybe, because you've got, quote unquote, a Buddhist word, attachment to it. Like, he's emotionally invested in it so deeply. It's like, what do you mean this isn't true? So it's like, when we ease up on the words true but partial, a phrase I got from Ken Wilber, is another way of saying this. It keeps you open. We need discernment and openness, not separate. A really personal and sharp thing is humble about what they know and don't know. Is like, well, a good phrase is like, this is my best guess based on how I've experienced life so far, but I'm open if you got a new perspective on something. It keeps us out of like, I'm right and you're wrong, and we're escalating, and then nothing gets done when everyone gets heated and stuff. So I want to help people calm and open up our mind to multiple perspectives. And psychedelics have this ability to open the creativity box, bring in new perspectives, and get us out of our own way. So just want to circle back one last thing, because you were making a really important point about the man coming into psychedelics. Do I think it's bad or dangerous? The answer is, true but partial. We can shape it together. Let's shape this together. I don't care where you're coming from. If you study with my stuff, I'm open to wherever you're starting from, beginner, psychonaut, mainstream, alternative. I'm just about helping. My geeky thing is about helping people see new perspectives on things and help you figure out which one is going to serve you in your life, so you can move towards your peaceful, nonviolent, abundant world, and we all can create it together. Anyways, that's where I land.
Yeah, great, brother. So for the new people interested in having a ceremony with medicine, or for those advanced, first let's start with the beginners, which is always okay to start somewhere. And what is important, what you're highlighting, is the discernment, the awareness that you don't have to chase the experience. Kind of like, we don't have to be chasing money. Like, the medicine will find you, that the synchronicity of the moment will happen when it's supposed to happen. We don't have to force it. We don't have to, by forcing it, by chasing it, we end up having an experience with not the right people, with not the right leader or facilitator. So by letting it happen naturally, like a mysterious, magical experience where you didn't even know that was going to happen, yet allowing you to inform you to be prepared for it, preparing our body, preparing our mind, preparing our connection with intention. And that would help make the experience harmonious. And harmony doesn't mean that you're avoiding the difficult experiences that goes deep into the shadow. Maybe you have to go through that and confront that fear and confront that powerful experiences with yourself. And if you are someone more experienced that have gone through many ceremonies, you also want to realize, why are you going back there? Why are you keep repeating the same pattern? You're not supposed to be over and over getting into the ceremony, kind of like an addiction, or kind of like just having to find a place to escape to. And this is important. You can also have your own experiences, just yourself on your home, or in a land somewhere, and have a psilocybin medicine or other type of medicines. Psilocybin is the more subtle, more beautiful one that helps you take it on your own. With other ones, you may need some assistance to guide you on making sure you're having everything you need. Overall, the medicine is not to heal you completely, yet it shows you what you have to be doing, what work you have to be doing. So our brother Jonathan here can help highlight what is it that you're supposed to be doing, what actions can be done to integrate the experiences that you had through the ceremony. So with that said, it's important to realize that the medicine is not here to be abused and not to be taken as something to put in the bucket list before you die. It's recommended that you at least have one experience before you go to another realm, but at the same time, it's not just like something to do just because you want to do it. You want to intentionally understand the reason why does it exist and how the ancestors, indigenous cultures used to do it. And different cultures do it differently. Different medicines have different purpose. So there's a lot to learn from.
Mhm.
And having people like Jonathan to facilitate the pre experiences and the after. Now, Jonathan, tell us, how is it that we will go through a pre setting or preparation before the ceremony? What is it exactly? How do we prepare for it?
Yeah. So basically, um, you want to tap into your like desire body. Like, what do you, if you like, start with the question, like, if I could have a miracle right now, what would it be? And why do I say that is it ties to integration and motivation and energy. You want to be excited. You don't want to just go in there and be like, I don't know, tell me how do they make Cocoa Krispies? I don't know. It's like something vague or whatever. It's like, or it's you want something that's deeply personal so that you're invested afterwards to do it, because it's kind of like an inquiry. And I think you were kind of saying something important, recognizing you're in a process, and the psychedelic ceremony is just a part of the process, but so is the preparation. So let's break it down a little bit deeper. So it's like, what are you trying to accomplish? And then you want to ask, like, you want to get out of like a victim mindset. A lot of people blaming other people. It's the man, it's my mom, it's this or that. You only control yourself. I'm just gonna tell you, like, wake up. Come on. You don't control other people. So the goal is to actually get empowered. So you want a good question for preparation is, you could a lot of the world does work by consent. So you could say, like, good, you're going to get into the medicine's likely to put you in a higher self state, right? Some people call it soul, Holy Spirit, whatever, Dharmakaya. Different religions have different words, but let's just keep it more higher self, just so most people can relate to that. Higher self. I'm desiring this. Can you show me what I can do to move towards this faster than I am doing right now? How am I getting in my own way? What can I do? What are there things about the nature of life that maybe I don't understand? Like, here's a very important thing: is you want to get as precise as you can. Like, I'd like to have like a find my purpose, or be better with my family, or like specific is better. But as specific as you can. So you want, the intention is about ownership. Show me what I need to do. Get out of this like victim stuff, right? And then non-attachment is really important. The higher self, the medicine, the experience, all the factors into it. Once you make that intention, it's important to let go of what it looks like. I used to spend a lot of time. Oh, I know what the medicine is going to show me. Blah blah blah. Guess what? I'm batting 0% on that one. How it unfolds. Let the mystery. You talked about that. The mystical element. The experience. Your higher self knows what you need more than what you do. That's why you're using it, because it's accessing a higher intelligent state. There's almost like a part of you that sees everything you do and has connection to the library of all the cool stuff going on in the world and all the best practices, that this medicine, when done in the most intelligent way, opens you up. But keep in mind this: don't get your expectations. The goal is to get you moving in the next step. And you said it's like Are you supposed to do it a lot? Are you supposed to only do it once? I don't know. It's different for everyone. You're not using it to bypass the way you asked a great question. Like, how do you know you're using it intelligently? Well, are you actually moving forward towards your goals? Or are you just kind of like having experiences, but nobody can see any growth. That being said, some bigger results take time, but there's a lot of what I do is I help people measure the little micro steps along the process, because you have to get more aware of like how you're getting in the way, and then how do you replace. Sometimes it's like deeply has to do with stuff deep in your subconscious, but that has a known arc. So when I talk to people, I will quickly be able to be, let's say I'm on a community call. People could tell me, I ask them a couple of questions, like 5-10 minutes, boom, I'll know exactly what they need to do. And so I believe in dialing in the preparation with precision. We talked a lot about discernment, but precision is another underlying score. When we have a good map of ourselves and like how transformation goes and where we are in a process, and we just be like, I'm gonna get obsessed with mastering the thing that's right in front of me right now, and I'm gonna put some boundaries around all this other stuff, and I focus on it. Then you become service to the world, right? How does the higher self, if your energy spreads all over the place, you're not as much useful to the spiritual world. Spiritual world wants someone who's going to contribute in a grounded way that can bring a regenerative culture to the world. So I believe we all have a specific role to play. We're all a messenger of what we're here to be a messenger of. So helping people find it, you can use these medicines to identify like your specific role in this big divine unfolding, because I'm really optimistic. I think plants are just a piece of the puzzle, but they're really to help activate people, to activate souls. I'm all about soul activations, so we can have this regenerative global culture.
Yeah, like you said, the soul activation. We're not separate from the soul. We're not separate from the spirit. And we think being spiritual is trying to connect with something with it, which is actually it's already inside of us. The spirit, the soul is part of us, and how to activate it, how to wake it up, how to have that relationship of ourselves again and being coherent. So this is what I highlight a lot is how can we be spiritual if I'm not taking care of my body, right? The
Mm,
highlight of the medicine, the psychedelic medicines, is you can't be connecting to yourself if you're like all contaminated, you're full of toxins, you're full of parasites. So one of the main ways to prepare for a ceremony is to have a really good diet, to let go,
hmm
to not have it interrupt you, right? So once you go to specifically ayahuasca ceremony, it's going to help you purge. If you didn't prepare enough, it's going to
hmm
purge everything you got from wherever it comes out from. And if you have prepared maybe at least 2 weeks, it it's minor. It's more energetically. You're going to be purging it energetically. You can have a bucket full of everything you had inside, or a bucket full of energetic purge that we want to bring out, because we don't
hmm
realize that there's not only physical parasites in the gut, but actually energetic parasites. So preparing
hmm
ourselves prior in mind and body and the energetic frequency around us can help us have a more fine-tuned experience directly to the point. So the medicine doesn't have to work to clean you first so you can get to the point. And and therefore during the experience can happen all kinds of things, and according to how much you have cleaned, the medicine can be even stronger. So if you have been
hmm
constantly in a month diet, fasting, and all kinds of things, the same medicine that you are used to, or you have, or others are taking, the same amount is going to be a lot stronger and go directly to the point even faster if you have prepared that way for it. And likewise, post ceremony, one of the things that we highlight a lot is to start writing down right away. Of course,
hmm
group integration and start talking about it is important, but also writing it down and integrating as much as you can. And if writing down is too complicated at that moment, or you didn't even find what to write down, you didn't even bring it, then you want to at least record it. And I'm sure you have a phone, you can record yourself, but you record your audio of like what the experience and articulate as best as you can. So then the post experience can be taken to another level where you can really connect with yourself, really connect to the spirit, in which you realize, okay, I did the job, I connected, I got the message I needed. And maybe you didn't, and that's okay. But whatever has to happen, has to happen. And again, maybe you don't even have to come back anymore. So realizing that the psychedelic medicine is a medicine, but also is important to honor and respect it so much that you don't have to need it anymore. Do you really need it to take it the first time? Okay, you took it the first time. Do you really need to come back? Again, I'm highlighting the fact that we have been abusing the medicine and we're creating careers around it. And it's not about that anymore. We need to go back to the essence of our existence in terms of the natural state, the organic sense of ourselves, not making a whole business or a whole industry around these medicines. That's why I want to bring down and make it simple as it always been. It's simple, yet very profound to understand the reason of our existence. So prior, during, and post ceremony is important to act upon with honor and respect. So that's what I want to highlight. Now, post ceremony, what is your process to help people after the ceremony? And mind you, I want to honor and respect our time as well. So,
Okay. I just want to say a little bit about what you just said, and then I'll get into integration. They're going to feed into it. I want to talk about a God that I rarely people talk about. This is the God of all gods. It's called the God of context. Context means the factors. We're all a byproduct of all the factors that are contributing to us, like what's going on in your psychology, what's going on in all your relationship, what's going on with the astrology, what's going on within the news, like so there's all these factors that affect us, right? So psychedelics are just one, right? You were mentioning about like a traditional way of doing it, and you also mentioning that some people are misusing it, some people are making it an industry, and a lot of stories about it. All of it, I'm going to go true but partial. uh, Something new wants to be emerging. You also mentioned about the dieta, right? The diet you do, like a lot of ayahuasca people in different ceremonies, they very strict diet beforehand. So look, there's a lot of traditions have done it in a certain way, and modern people are trying different ways. Uh, the truth is, I'm going to evoke science, and science means the scientific method. As the context changes, the output of the science changes. Scientific output is not, there's no such thing as settled science. It doesn't exist. It's a hard rule. Science is open minded by definition. It's inputs equal outputs. We're learning more about life. So whatever stories people got about psychedelics, flush them down the toilet. All of them. All of them. We're in a new era. We're learning again how to use them. Does this make you a better person? Yes or no? That's the big question. All these rules from different traditions or modern ones, stupid. I'm not saying they're wrong. It's just like we're in a new period. So let's get into integration with that in mind. Integration, first off, you want to adapt it to you. Like what makes you remember things? What makes you learn things? That depends on what the lesson is. So it's like, but I'm gonna try and take like there's a word I want to call like a meta truth. Meta truth is like there's like things that are true for everyone and things that are very specific to you. So because you're not giving me like a personal example. I'm going to keep it on the meta level. I'm going to give you 3 meta tips. Keep it precise. What is like the one, or if you had a big experience, what are the most 1 to 3 most important lessons you want to do? Okay. Nail it down. Maybe number 2, probably talk to somebody who's good at talking to you about it, whether it's a professional or a friend. Try and get a new perspective. Try and link it to what was your intention, what happened, what is the world telling to you. And number three, there's two ways of learning. One is called extreme experiences. That's what the psychedelic experiences are. But then you want to do both. You want to have repetition. So what is he going to do? Whatever the lesson is, I like decrees are a good one. Like a real simple statement, like I'm going to be more open. Like let's say somebody listens to this podcast and they'll realize, yeah, this openness thing's important. I'm going to stamp everything that I learn as open. So see how that's really simple, and then you do it like 3 times a day. You say it 10 times, and you get it into the nervous system. You do it for like a month until it's becomes a habit. You're like going from, this is how you know your integration, you crushed it. You went from like, oh, this is a new idea. Oh, this is a habit. I know it for sure. So that's how you know you won, and you kept growing. So the goal is to grow so that you can be a better version of yourself, serve yourself, self-love, self-compassion, but also be a good, better person for the world. So we need to measure, we need to have solid neutral metrics. Good for me, good for the world. So anyways, I hope that took some of the complexity and made it simple. Go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate you being able to learn about psychedelics and practice it and being of service to the people so we can all wake up, activate our soul, our senses, our purpose in life. And this is about that. It's a process, and it doesn't have to be only with psychedelics. It could be meditation, it could be connecting to the earth, gardening. There's so many ways. So psychedelics is not the only path. It's the process that our life needs to have, and only the almighty one source, God, however we want to call it, knows that. And with that said, I want to let you know, everyone and the audience here, how to connect with Jonathan if you want to, learn more about it, have a therapy session with him, and just open up to community. So let us know, Jonathan, what's the best way?
Yeah, I'll just give you my website, www.mozenter, Mozenter. The last part is Moz, then the word enter.com. And then on YouTube, I'm just at Mozenter, my last name, Mozenter. I'm help you with the preparation, your integration. I'm building a community around it. I just want to say I had a great time. I always connect so deeply with you, bro. I feel like we could talk forever. We went really deep on psychedelics, but I'm going to put this out there. Some point, I'd love to have another conversation on a different topic about community, regenerative culture, and I'd like to bring in some of my organizational development background. We didn't have time for that today, but in the future, I'll put that in the balloon in divine timing. Like he said, I have no attachment. This is how the pros do it. You put the attachment out there, and the universe just brings it in divine timing. And sometimes you ways you never expected. So have faith for sure.
Yes, the power of faith, the power of trust. The more we resonating with ourselves, becoming fully engaged with our lives, we resonate with other people doing the same. So everything synchronizes when it's supposed to be. With that said, I'm going to let you go, hermano. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being of service to life. This is what regenerative culture is about, connecting with wonderful people, taking action around the world. And stay tuned for what's coming up. We have a 7-day detox on the coming solstice, June 14th to the 20th. We have our seed retreat in Ecuador in August. And we also have the launch of our regenerative leadership community coming up. So stay tuned for all of that. Peace, love, and prosperity to all. I appreciate you, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ciao, ciao.